I introduce the next session, I want to understand how many of you here are familiar with the name Clorox. I'm sure everyone, because at one point, everyone was ready to trade their stocks for a bottle of Clorox wipes. So our next session is from Clorox. We have two speakers from Clorox, Procurement Reimagined, Powering CPG Innovation with AI. So let me welcome the moderator for our session first, Kim Kuesel from Avathon, and she'll be introducing our speakers. Please give a big round of applause for Kim.
So I lead the commercial team for Avathon, bringing our AI solutions to critical assets, operations, and supply chain. So I'm excited to be here. First, we're going to have Suzette introduce herself and a little bit about Clorox, although I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with Clorox.
All right. Hi, I'm Suzette Skulan. I'm a strategic project manager at the Clorox company. I'm glad to be here. Some great topics to discuss today and a lot to share and learn. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, great. So I have over 20 years plus end-to-end supply chain and innovation experience across the consumer packaged goods and tech industries. I've worked at Procter & Gamble, Sun Microsystems, McAfee, and now Clorox. So I've seen a lot of things over the years, and I've enjoyed the experiences in innovation and have a deep appreciation for the tools and partnership with procurement and broader supply chain as well. A little bit about Clorox. First of all, I didn't see the raise of hands of how many people have Clorox products in their home. I hope that's everyone here. Okay. Oh no. Okay. Well, maybe we have some work to do. So, one thing I will share is that I don't know how many of you know, but Clorox was founded in the year 1913. So about 111 years ago. So I'd like to see a raise of hands of how many of you are currently working in an organization that's hit that century mark. Has anyone? One. I see one. All right, that's great. All right, but most haven't. And so I think there's something interesting here to be said about the continuous need to evolve over time and continue to innovate because everyone's needs and interests, consumers, has shifted and changed over the years. And to be providing solutions every day for our consumers is crucial for us to understand our consumers and make decisions quickly to support them. We started out as a bleach company. 5 entrepreneurs started the company. They were interested in manufacturing liquid bleach and then finding ways of marketing that to consumers. They did that, fast forward multiple decades, and here we are with more than 7 business units. We have brands such as Hidden Valley Ranch, Kingsford Charcoal, Brita, Burt's Bees, I'm missing Glad, among our namesake Clorox cleaning products. So a lot has evolved over time, and we're continuing that process to ensure we're supporting our consumers. We span over 25 countries across our manufacturing, offices, our R&D facilities, and joint venture locations. So a much broader reach than when they started way back in 1913. So anything else to add on Clorox?
Hello, everyone. This is my first TiEcon conference, so I'm super excited to be here and looking forward for our discussion. I am based out of Bay Area, and I lead procurement excellence at Clorox. I have been associated with Clorox for more than 8 years. Actually, the second day when I moved to US. First 2 years as a consumer, but last 6 years both as an employee and consumer. My background is I started my career in R&D, business operations, program management, and then I landed up in procurement by chance, but I continued by choice. The way I describe my procurement journey is anybody from procurement here? Okay, I can see some hands. I describe my procurement journey as from washing machine to self-driving car. So that's kind of in one line, that's my experience in procurement. So.
Wonderful. Okay, we're going to start with some questions. I'm going to start with you, Suzette.
Yeah.
So you talked about the legacy of Clorox and how much brand trust and really product consistency you have to bring to the table, and it's really critical for your customers and, for all of us. So how are you balancing that need for innovation with operational discipline, especially where your product has to show up in the hands of the consumer pretty quick, with that innovation being a constant requirement?
Yeah, well, definitely trust is fundamental, right? So trust of our consumers, trust that in our brands, trust that our products will perform to do the jobs that our consumers are buying those products to do is crucial. And that's what we stand for. And so that's a non-negotiable for us. We absolutely need to deliver that. And so you look at innovation. Innovation can at times challenge your ability to produce, as efficiently perhaps as you might have otherwise. So we do have to be choiceful about when and where we innovate, right? And use data-based approaches to really figure out, well, where is the best place to go do that? What brands, what products, what specific consumer needs are we tackling and trying to solve for, so that our consumers will get that, but we will also maintain the promise that we deliver for all of the products that we deliver to them every single day. As we still want to ensure that when their kid gets home with the stomach flu, they are able to wipe it all down with the Clorox disinfecting wipes and avoid having the rest of the family sick, hopefully. We're also there to make sure that your garbage bag doesn't dump all over the floor when you're trying to take out the weekly garbage. So basic things every day. Innovation does matter on those everyday occasions, and we're here to make sure that that happens. Now, in terms of making the choices on innovation, we're using a very data-based approach to do that, and we're really pulling up information from our consumers, mining that information through search data and social media and other places. So we'll talk about that. We can go into that more if we want. But at the end of the day, we want to ensure that we are innovating to a point where we have as many shots on goal as possible. Because innovation, as many of you already know, is a low probability, high gain kind of game. So, but if it's low probability, your investment in all these ideas that may fail is waste. And so we're really focused on how do we get the insights, the information we need to be able to ensure that we're putting our best foot forward on the ideas that make sense and will have legs in the marketplace. And at the end of the day, how does that help supply chain? That helps to ensure that we're putting the investments in our new lines, our incremental equipment, our bottle molds, custom bottle molds, whatever they may be, thousands, millions and millions of dollars of investment, not to mention people resources in the right places where it really counts, and killing the ideas that don't make sense so that we can put those resources back in for new ideas. So it's that cycle of getting that feedback, fast decision making, and enabling us to go after the innovation that really counts.
Fail fast.
That's right.
Fail.
And then the last part of that is just really ensuring that we're partnering early with procurement and supply chain, who typically haven't always had a seat at the table in the early innovation, and we're doing that today.
So Ashish, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about AI. And I'm very curious to hear how you're applying AI strategically to transform procurement.
Okay. So this is my personal view as a procurement practitioner, the way we are thinking about AI. So I think AI is like a rain. Actually, it's a storm. And when the rain comes, you have three options. I'm ruling out the fourth option, which is wait for rain to stop. I don't think it's going to happen. It will continue. So the option one, out of those three options is you just stay inside. You don't do anything. You are just watching from the sidelines and let the opportunity pass. That's one option. The option two is you go all out, get drenched. You will enjoy, but there is a chance you will get sick. So you are embracing AI without a plan. Option three, which is my preferred option, is you go out but take an umbrella with you. So you are making a plan. It's a very structured, stepwise approach. I'm so much fascinated by high jumpers, and what I have seen, they don't jump immediately. They take 9, 10 steps before they make a high jump. So our approach is, yes, we need to use AI, but we don't start with AI, but what are we trying to solve? Or what is the opportunity we are looking at? and then identify those use cases. Okay? And I joke, I think this year is going to be an year of pilot, where we will have more pilots than some of the airlines. So now I have use case, so what to do, right? How do we execute it? And whenever I'm in doubt, I go back to the basics. So I came out with a model which is called ABCDE model. So A stands for, you need to align with the leadership, you need to align with the stakeholders. That's what you are trying to do. B is the belongingness, so people who are going to be part of that use case journey, it's very important to involve them early. C is communications. I think probably over communication, I should say, it's very important. D is data, which is, I think everybody talks about that. But then you need to execute it also. So E is executions. If nothing works, you should think about F. And I know what you are thinking, but I meant fail. So fail fast. So that's the approach we are taking. It's more about start with a problem, not with a solution, and then go stepwise and start to learn and unlearn also.
Are you going to get to the point of dancing in the rain?
Oh, absolutely.
So Suzette, you talked a little bit about failing fast and trying to identify where you can innovate. Mm-hmm. So how are you using AI and advanced analytics to really sense consumer behavior, whether it's through social sentiment, usage patterns, or emerging needs? And how is that helping you accelerate that innovation journey?
Yeah, as I mentioned, there's this balance between going fast, but then also the level of investment that we're making on each of these innovations. And when you're working in like consumer products, packaged goods, you are having to physically make commitments to inventory, to line equipment, capital, a large amount of dollars. So what we would need to do is try to make those decisions as quickly as possible. And on the consumer front, we are consumer obsessed. Everything we do, we listen to what our consumers' needs are. And so we are using AI to better understand our consumers, but to do it in a whole different way than we've done in years past. And even in my time at Clorox, I have seen the old way of doing it, and I'm so excited about how we're doing it today. And how we are doing it today is that we are, like I mentioned earlier, we are taking data from search, we're taking it from social, we're taking it from product. And so search being more real time to tell us, well, what are the problems that consumers are searching about and like how to solve? Like maybe they have a mold problem that they're trying to resolve and they don't know how best to take care of that. And there may be in social media, it's a little lagging, but it will tell us, is that idea or that particular need that they're asking about getting more traction over time, or perhaps it's starting to wane. And so that might give us insight to, do we think there's longevity behind this question that needs to be answered or solved? And it'll help to inform, should we work on this a little bit more? And then lastly, on a product front, we'll see reviews from, let's say, Amazon or other online retailers to understand what consumers like or dislike about the products that are in the marketplace today. And then we'll also see things like patents. That's important information too. Does someone already have technology lined up? So we don't need to invest any more time here. It's just, let's go off to the next idea. So all those things are important, but even more so, we want to understand, well, once we have an idea, this enables us to bring a concept to life and get concepts in front of consumers fast. So in the past, we used to have, let's say, 12 consumers in 3 different cities, scheduled months in advance, questionnaires of a limited set of questions that were vetted out by a team of folks. So in these 3 cities, people traveled, scheduled very finite list of questions. We reviewed them, and we asked them what they felt about the product, what they felt about the price point, what they didn't like about the product, and it was very limited in terms of what you could talk about. Fast forward to today, we can now reach more than those 36 consumers. We're able to reach thousands. And we're able to reach thousands real time. And we're also able to change the attributes to better understand real time. Well, what attribute do you care most about? Like, if it's a spray product, did you get trigger, was your hand tired from spraying the product too much? Is there something wrong with the ergonomics of the product? Did you not like the stickiness of the formula as it touched your surfaces in your kitchen, whatever it may be? Mm-hmm. We can toggle between the different attributes of the product and also the price point, and help us build a stronger business case. And so in doing that, we build confidence in our ideas early. And so early so that then when we're heading to our leadership discussions around investment, right, sometimes this capital equipment has like a 1-year lead time. That's another thing. If you guys can find a way to streamline that, let's talk about that. But the lead times are long on the back end. So this helps us to make decisions early, and we can move the entire timeline up on innovation so we can get to our consumers faster.
And you can make a decision if the innovation isn't working.
Exactly.
Right? How do you get that product off the shelves
Exactly.
without the wasted investment?
That's right.
So there's a lot of challenges in digital transformation. And Ashish, you've led digital transformation and procurement throughout your career. What do you view as the biggest mindset shift that needs to make the transformation thrive in today's environment, especially leveraging AI and in an industry where agility is so critical and the risks to failure are high? How do you get through this shift that you need in mindset?
I think I'm still learning, but I will share my learnings, what I have learned and what I have unlearned also. If you think about digital transformation, it's less about technology. It's more about people. It's a mindset transformation. Mm-hmm. And from a procurement perspective, it's about not being a gatekeeper, but being a gate opener. And as procurement, we always think this cannot be done because of XYZ reasons. But now shift our mindset, how we can make this happen. Mm-hmm. It's about moving from a perfectionist mindset to more experimental mindset. To give you an example, when we introduce new technology, I think this is common across, the first reaction is no. So we are trying to move away from no to maybe, not even yes, but let's give a benefit of doubt that it'll work. If you say this solution is going to offer 10 features, our mind starts asking, like the 11th feature is missing. So we focus on not what is there, but not what is not there. I mean, the beauty with technology is you can expect anything, but that's also a challenge. People expect anything on day one. So that's the mindset shift. It's all about like learning. Are we open to learn new things? Are we open to give a benefit of doubt? Suzette was talking about failure. I think failure is as a data point, and I always call like failure is a companion of innovation. It's about trying out things, and it's not just about celebrating success, mm-hmm. but also celebrating successful failures. Mm-hmm. I think that's very important, and that's the hardest thing. Like I said, I'm still on journey, and I will share 2 examples what I talk to my team. Again, very conceptual, but I think this is very helpful. At least I have seen in some of the transformations which I have done. The first is I tell them, for any transformation, it's a journey. And there are 2 important things in a journey. One is the direction, where you are going. And second is the company with whom you are going. If your company is great, it'll be fun, right? So take technology, take I along with you, okay? Is it going to be smooth? No, you would still have bumpy rides. But if you are going in the same direction, and you are taking AI or technology with you, you can take a carpool lane and run much faster. Okay? That's first. Second is, we always think, and there is no reason why we should not think, the transformation is a straight line. Mm-hmm. Okay? But in reality, it's never a straight line. And we get frustration. This is how I thought about it. It's not going the way I was thinking. And I tell to people, whenever you get frustrated that it's not a straight line, just think about the EKG report. If it's a straight line, that means end of life. So it has to be up and down, which shows like growth and progress.
Excellent. So now I want to tie a little bit about what Suzette has talked about, which is innovation, living in R&D and marketing. Mm-hmm. And I have a question based on your experience. Mm-hmm. What does it take to bring procurement, say, along in the journey and make them a proactive partner to really shaping what you're trying to accomplish and how you get there.
Yeah, and this is a topic I'm really excited about because we've been doing this now, and it's a more recent transformation for us, but it's proven to be crucial. So we've adopted, so at a high level, procurement and supply chain now as a whole, has a seat at the table alongside R&D and marketing in early discovery before we've even selected the concept. That's very different than what has been in the past. So that's a fundamental shift for us, and for many CPG companies and many other companies, that may not be a norm yet either. Another thing that we're doing in a way to really put that into practice is that we've picked up the Scaled Agile framework. And so traditionally, a lot of CPG companies have used waterfall methodology. If you're familiar with that, it's more of a, you have a finite scope and you bring it to market more linearly. This is more of the, and you guys probably know this a whole lot more than even we do. I mean, this is the iterative approach to innovation. Over 90 days, you're setting your expectations for what you're going to deliver with your stories, feature stories, et cetera. I won't go into it, but the idea is you are not limiting yourself to just a particular set scope. You have more flexibility, and it allows you to adapt and incorporate that feedback early on from procurement. This way we can better understand, well, we have this idea, what would it take to actually scale this up down the road? We're not waiting to the very end when perhaps we're locked in and we're potentially stuck with a problem we can't solve for. This allows us to be able to partner with the right suppliers, the right technology, understand the cost structure. Even if we don't have it final, we have a projected range of costs that we can work with that will help us to better inform that whole concept, the price point for the consumer, and how much we want to invest in this. Does this have some reality behind it? So the seat at the table is absolutely important for us.
And an early seat at the table.
That's right.
So in today's environment where margins are increasingly getting tighter and consumer expectations are getting significantly higher, especially as it relates to price point and innovation, how can procurement move beyond just cost to really drive growth and resilience and speed in the process?
I think it's already happening that procurement is not just like cost, which is very important,
Right.
but driving growth, speed, and resilience. And like what Suzette said, procurement has a seat at the table. But I always say the table is getting busy because there are so many stakeholders. So sometimes we carry our folding table also, and we set up our own table and invite other people. So let's not be limited about like if the table is busy. But if you look at in terms of, let's take an example of growth, where I think the shift is we are not just thinking about unit price, but how with the supplier we do innovations, how the supplier can help us to grow. It may be a co-innovation, it may be a fast product development, it may be tapping into a new segment. So strategic partnerships is the new savings. And in fact, maybe 6 years back, I said, like, we should not call RFP as request for proposal, we should call it request for partnership. And someone asked me why, and I said, if you work hard on chemistry, you will do well in math. Okay, that was my learning in procurement. So there is a huge focus on, the negotiations is about savings, but it's about innovation also, how we work together, okay, how we can make it happen. The second is about resilience. It's about, again, turning supply chain into supply brains. Like your supply chain should not break if something happens in one part of the world, which becomes a norm now. How we adapt, how we, if we are like pulled back, how again we move forward, and then be ready that if the storm is coming, we know that, okay, it's time to reroute. So really building that, getting the visibility, I think there is still a lot to be done, and that's where I think the innovation will come, but that's another focus area. And then the speed, which is very, very important. I think that's where, AI is helping a lot. I always say, like, if you ask from procurement people, they say our process is very simple, 6 or 7 steps process, but procurement is simplex process. It looks simple, but it's very, very complex. But I think with the help of tools, we are trying to simplify, we are trying to streamline and providing a better experience to our suppliers, to our stakeholders, to our teams also. And procurement is no longer a bottleneck, but it's like a fast lane.
Excellent. Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
No time for questions.
Thank you.